there guys, alright, welcome back to another awesome video. We have another top 10 video. And today's top 10 video is going to be the top 10 Epcot attractions. We a while back did the Magic Kingdom. We're now going to visit the one and only experimental prototype community of tomorrow, that is Epcot. So we're going to be looking at my favorite rides from that theme park. We did Magic Kingdom, that was the first Walt Disney World theme park. Epcot was the second one. So we're gonna kind of go chronological order of releases of when these theme parks were established. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's just kick it off already. At number 10 is Test Track. Now, I will say this, that Test Track I have never ridden before. Never have I ridden the original version, never have I ridden the World of Motion, never have I ridden the new edition with Chevron, I think it was sponsored by. But I do plan on riding the new one, and I am looking forward to the new design they have in mind, especially since they're going to incorporate animatronics again into that environment. But from what I've seen of the ride, it looks pretty cool. Like, each iteration is really cool and it is fascinating. Like, the first one really focused on the safety, that trial and error aspect I thought was really cool. And the newer version with Chevron showed the advancements in technology, the future of car designs and the way cars are made. It's kind of cool. And it is pretty fast. So I will give the ride credit for that. Even though I haven't ridden it, I will give it some credit and some appreciation. And number 9 is Living at the Seas with Nemo. It's cute. You're in this little clamshell. You go through, like, you go underwater with Nemo and friends, and it's just a cute little show, cute little ride you go through, and there's a nice little animatronic of the anglerfish, kind of. I think it's animatronic, but it's still pretty cool. Like, you can kind of tell, but it's pretty cool how the system works for that. And it's, again, it's a cute little ride. Number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I have this low on the list because I know this is still a cheap move, but I haven't ridden the ride yet, unfortunately. And I do plan on to, hopefully one day, if they stop doing the whole virtual queue thingy, whatever setup you have to do with, you have to literally book in advance to have the ride, and you have to have like a whole scheduled time of like, oh, you have to do this at 5:45 p.m. or something like that, or whatever weird shit. But anyways, from what I've heard good things and great things about this ride. There are a few other things I would like to talk about when I actually get to ride the ride, which I would like to actually, which is going to be a little weird, is I would actually like to do a separate video talking about the ride once I've actually experienced the actual attraction, because I have thoughts of my own on how I feel about the plot and how I feel about the way the queue is and the setup and all this other stuff. But from what I've heard great things. The soundtrack's awesome. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's all fun. There's also some great unique stuff to it, at least. And at least it's better than Ellen's Universe of Energy. And I do like Universe of Energy and Ellen's Universe of Energy, but at least we finally have Marvel at Disney World here in Florida. And number 7 is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. We finally, after a few years, we finally have this here in Epcot, because this is basically a copy and paste from Disneyland Paris. And even what's kind of interesting is that they kept the French dialogue and they added the English dialogue, French speaking parts and then the English speaking parts, but still, it's a fun little ride. It's cute. It's really cool. You're the size of a rat. You're in this little rat coaster, little rat cart. We're running around the whole restaurant like in the movie. It does have a nice balance of practicality and digital screens, because there is a lot of digital screens and a lot of like close effects in your face, but there's also practical effects as well, like water splashing or the smells of the restaurant, and just how big of a scope it feels. Like you are the size of a mouse, you are the size of a rat, and it shows with the scales, and play with objects like food is so gigantic and things like that. Number 6 is the Grand Fiesta Tour with the 3 Caballeros. I love that the 3 Caballeros are getting so much love here in the Mexico Pavilion, and I'm glad that it has stayed and remained that way, because I know that there's been talks about, hey, they could do a Coco ride, and as much as that'd be great, I would miss these characters right here because these are such fantastic animatronics and just fantastic additions to the ride. A nice little log boat ride, just something easy and relaxing, nothing too extreme, but it's just really fun. It's lively. It's kind of got small world vibes to it, and again, those caballeros, Donald, Panchito, and Jose Caballero. Final five, my list. At number 5 is Captain EO. I do like the 3D theater theme that they have now with the short films, but I really miss Captain EO. This was so original. This was so phenomenal. And I really wish that Disney does something with this now, because this could easily be a nice addition to maybe adding this to Disney Plus somehow, or putting this on physical media like Blu-ray, put this on a DVD or a Blu-ray, or hell, give me a VHS, because I mean, we apparently are in a day and age that we still love vinyls and records. Give us VHSs again. That's coming back apparently. So give me a VHS of Captain EO. That'd be phenomenal. Just the idea of having Michael Jackson, George Lucas, I think Francis Ford Coppola was involved. It's just the fact that you have George Lucas and Michael Jackson working on a project together, this Star Wars space opera-esque adventure with these colorful, quirky characters, and Angelica Houston as the weird titular villain. And it's all done with dance and done with music. It's all just fun. It's just something that's very 80s, something very 90s, and it's a capsule in time that it's so just, it's purely entertaining as all hell. Now for my final 4 I have here, I had done a poll. I did a community poll a few days ago, or maybe a week, give or take when this gets uploaded. But still, I had done a poll, and I had 4 other attractions I had mentioned. And that what's interesting about all 4 of these attractions is that I was considering that all four of these contenders would have qualified perfectly for number 1. And I couldn't decide on which one I really felt like I wanted to lean more towards. So thanks to all of you that did vote, and I do appreciate all the votes that you guys did leave, because it kind of did sway my vote and sway my decision. And it is a decision and it is a choice that I am very satisfied with how the results are. But for the final 4, here they are. At number 4, we have Living with the Land, one of the very kind of OG rides from Epcot that really hasn't gone through a refurbishment, hasn't really gone through a lot of change. It really has stayed the test of time and really stayed the same way it has been for years. And just the idea of just how the environment works, how living with the land is like, and it just keeps in theme with what Epcot kind of embodies and what it represents, how things work with plants and food and again, the environment, and it's kind of nice. It is very genuine. Number 3 is Soarin'. Staying in the same pavilion or in the same land location, Soarin' is just so immersive. It's so wonderful. It's so great. It's so grand. You just feel like you're in the air, like you're flying, like you're Peter Pan all over the world, like you're going from all these mountains and these waterfalls, these treetops, and all these things, and you feel the feels, and you smell the smells, and it just feels so awesome. I know it's gone from just soaring over California to soaring around the world to soaring. I don't know the rendition at this point. It doesn't matter. All renditions are welcomed. And you have Patrick Warburton as the introduction inductor kind of guy and your pilot for your evening. That's just the cherry on the top. Number 2 is Journey into Imagination with Figment. This has gone through many years of iterations, and either one, whichever one you prefer, I still feel like there is still an embodiment and still a wonderment and bewilderment of the imagination, the ideas, the concepts, all sorts of insane things, and just imagination running wild. The original really captured that very well. The second rendition of Journey into Your Imagination may have not worked very hot, but it at least tried something different. And this one kind of embodies each renditions that we've gotten over the years of the idea of like it's entertaining, it's educational, of the idea of what the mind does with perception and with just how creativity just comes to mind with things. I would come up with concepts and constructs, and plus the iconic one and only Figment. I mean, we love Figment here, and I love this guy, and he's the reason he is Epcot in a sense when it comes to mascots. He is the embodiment of imagination, the figment of your imagination, and I'm so glad that last year we finally get to have him as a costume character again. Before I unveil my number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Body Wars. This is like kind of like Inside Out before it was Inside Out, the idea of like what goes on in the digestive system, how your body works in this very cartoonish, very Disney-esque exploration. Maelstrom. I know some people really like Frozen Ever After. I don't know how I feel about it still nonetheless. Never wrote it. I don't know if I plan on to, but I like how mythical Maelstrom was from what I've seen. I didn't get a chance to ride it, but it just looks so cool. No pun intended. Mission Space. I don't know if I'll ever do Mission Space due to a few reasons, but I do love the idea of how immersive I've heard it is, and how you feel like you feel the hydraulics, you feel the engines, you feel like you're actually launching yourself into space, going on this big adventure, and you're the one that's instructing the whole thing. How you're commanding, how everything you do affects the story in some way, shape, or form. And it's just so cool. It might be a little claustrophobic for some, but from what I hear, it just sounds really great.
Beautiful sight, isn't it? Something to dream about on the way to Mars.
And now, my number one pick of my top 10 favorite Epcot rides is, drumroll please, Spaceship Earth. I mean, this is literally the Epcot globe. And not only that, but I love that this, just like with Live in the Land, Spaceship Earth captures what Walt Disney had in mind for Epcot, what he had in mind for the community of tomorrow. And not only that, but you're inside the actual Epcot globe. You're traveling through time. You're witnessing history. You're witnessing things like the Renaissance Fair and the inventions of newspapers and how technology came to be. You also have a look into what the future could be and the recreational side of what the future holds for us, like things like space travel, living underwater, all sorts of things that we can come up with, and all this other stuff that we could find and discover with new ways of finding technology, new ways to find energy, new ways to power stuff, new ways to just save the environment or save the future, whatever the case is. Just all this really great stuff, and it just sticks to what is true and what represents Epcot. Those are my favorite rides at Epcot. So let me know in the comment section, have you ridden any of these before? Or have you not ridden any of these? What are your favorites? And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please smash that button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to our videos every day, every week. Make sure you ring that bell to new videos every week. Share the video with your friends, all the good stuff, and release suggestions down in the comments. You name it, I'll look into it as best as possible. We got a few more reviews coming in. I think after this, there will be my review for both Zootopia and Inside Out 2, and not anytime soon, but just to give you guys heads up, since we're gonna stay in this consistency when it comes to top 10 amusement park, theme park, Disney World related attraction based things. We've done Magic Kingdom, done Epcot. Next is gonna be Hollywood Studios, since that was the next one that was made and was released in a sense. So we're gonna be doing that, and also the other things to look out for. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.